Good evening, everyone. As he said, my name is Josiah. A short bio, I like long walks on the beach, and I love frogs. My favorite color is green. I'm a mom, so cheers to all the moms that actually got out tonight. This is our free moment right now. Soak it in. Also, I just want to thank you all for coming and supporting all these artists. This is exciting. We don't get to do this that often in our neighborhood, so. I am a mother of 4, and I decided to share part of my journey with you in poetry form. So I'm going to start off with the sad news. The sad news is that I lost one of my miracle twin boys. That's the sad news. But the great news is, before God said no, he said yes, right? So I had him for 3.5 years. So I don't want to start you guys out crying, but if it happens, I have some tissues over there, and then we're just going to get comfortable, and after the intermission, then I'll give you the great news, the really great news. So, this piece is called Chasm. I still have your wheelchair, but the other night I found old syringes and tossed them before the tears could come. All your toys piled high on your siblings' beds, photos to flip through on my phone and computer, 1,000 little memories of everything you did, videos of you and me, back when I was the luckiest mom in the world. I envy that foolish woman. She had it all and didn't even appreciate it enough. She should never have slept without you tucked up under her. Never stepped away from you for 1 second to do anything. Should have taken a gazillion of photos. And I still recall sometimes your gooey cheeks, how they were chewy like dough. There are a million stars that I could count for all the reasons I love and miss you, and not enough tears to cry to fill this hole. These things you left behind for me are not enough. I don't know what to do sometimes. Your absence sounds louder than God's voice. Why does he whisper so softly? As I ask him to speak up, ask him to remind me again how I didn't lose you because I'm undeserving. How you weren't taken because I failed to be sufficient. Tell him I don't mean half of the swears that pop up in my head, intrusive, invasive, unfiltered. Tell him I don't hate him. I know he's big enough to fill the chasm. But there are days when I feel even this colossal, all-powerful being isn't large enough to fill the hole my helpless son left behind. You're still with me? Don't cry yet. Okay. The second one's called The Cavity. When something changes, something deep under the skin removed from its home, the cavity remembers. Walking the hall alone, searching for the missing organ, is phantom limb possible for the heart now gone? I grind my teeth in my sleep, nurse the morning migraine, fall asleep in the AM to rise undead by noon, because it was our peaceful late nights, mother and son cozied up, your heart beating on mine, that made life magic. And I still remember that now, this isn't the world I want. This body isn't the same. I don't want a new heart. Just let it bleed. So God doesn't always... God doesn't always give us that miracle that we want the way that we want it. But my son is healed now, so that's the great news. And while I was going through the struggle and the heartache of realizing that, okay, I just woke up from this dream, it's over, I still have things left behind. And God, he doesn't mind how ugly my pain is. He doesn't mind the words that I'm exchanging with him when I'm saying, you know, where were you? You could have made this right. You could have did this better. If I were God, I would have did this a million different ways. I would have just healed him in the womb. But at the end of the day, God just keeps saying, I love you. I got this. There's a plan. And my son, 3.5 years, his plan was to make me a better person. And to reveal to me that God will love me even if I'm broken, even if I'm on the floor crying out and I'm just as ugly and unlovable as possible. God will scoop me up and say that he will not ever get tired. You are God's creation. He doesn't make mistakes. You are beautiful. You matter more than you could ever imagine. You are worth dying for and living again for. You have potential. You have the most powerful, most awesome being in all existence smiling and singing over you. God laughs, cries, and dances with you. You are loved past your fear, past your humiliations, past your doubt and your understanding, past, present, and future. When it's raining, when it's peachy, no matter what. And when you're sick, ugly, miserable, and disgusted with yourself, God will quiet you and remind you of this. God cannot, will not ever get tired of you. Happy stuff now. So, when you're going through something, I want to encourage you guys to embrace the middle. So this is called the middle. Don't try to rush through it, because that's where God really does his finest work. The Spirit of God is real, ever present and moving, weaving his way in and around and through our situations. And this is the middle, the pain, the roadblock, the adversity, the bruise, the cut, the friction, the dysfunction, the loss, the miracle, the victory. Every moment stitching something beautiful into our being. Maybe in the middle we cannot see the bigger picture, the life-sewn tapestry made of our dreams, misfortunes, and accomplishments, even blemishes we try to hide. But all will be presented to us one day. A garment we will wear for an eternity, laced with faith, challenge, and God-sized revelation. Pieces, precise pieces, perfect beauty. This is life. The life we live here in the middle will be the robe we wear in heaven, so love your life. Even the hurtful moments, and breathe each second in deep. This is what we have now. No future second promise. The middle is the story. Your middle in his hands is his story. Make it count. Don't sit around and wait for the good God has promised you in the end. You will miss this amazing gift. The middle is all good. And we only do this once. This is a praise psalm. This is me just on my knees thanking God for bringing me through grief and loss and just being able to see that bigger picture. It's like the light at the end of the tunnel. Thank you, God, that when you set us on mission, we don't go alone. You have been faithful to me all my life, even when I wasn't faithful, when I wasn't pursuing, when I wasn't loving or believing. You kept your hand over my life. You sheltered me from danger. I am alive today in spite of my enemy, even in spite of myself, because of your goodness. If you were not good, the whole world would be evil. If you weren't divine, the whole world would lack inspired thought. If you weren't creative, the world would be cookie cutout copies of monotony. If you weren't a healer and protector, I wouldn't be here. My sons wouldn't have made it, and my mother would have died 10 years ago. If you weren't compassionate, the cries of the hurting would go unanswered. There would be no desire for justice in our hearts, no understanding that it's even a divine need. Beetles don't need such systems put in place. Yet you even outdo yourself in the complexity of ecosystems and mechanics. You show up because you are faithful and show off because you are able to do exceedingly more than our minds could even fathom. You make a way through shut doors and spring forth leaders from closed wombs. You do it all from galaxies to genetics and aren't too proud to let us think that we've discovered or invented something. Wow. Rainbows in the skies and swirls of color in creatures' eyes, dreams, thoughts, and visions, cellular division, beating hearts and rhythms of the earth, all tapping out a ballad to your ears. You are so invested, so interested in us, tiny as we are. Each hair counted, each pore on our skin known from head to toe. What don't you know? The whole earth couldn't contain all the loving thoughts you have for me and all the ways you've jumped to my rescue or lifted me from the ground. I couldn't sing a long enough song or pen a psalm that could capture how you've captured me. I am totally yours. I was yours when you made me, but you didn't force me, you wooed me. You sang me to sleep in your arms. You are such a good and amazing father, such a defender and lover of my soul. You even love me enough not to do everything for me. You offer me joy and give me the tools to take it. You offer me peace and gift me with your word as I study and commit to time in closeness with you. You don't spoon feed me wisdom. You let my bumps and bruises remind me of my limits. You map out a road for me, but get tickled when I go in circles because I tuned you out. You hate seeing me on the floor defeated, but you won't always drag me toward victory. You say, get up, come to me, remember, you and I have been through hardships before. Today I am not carrying you. Today I'm going to show you that my spirit is in you, and you can walk in my spirit, and you can dance in this spirit, and you can fly over this pit. You already know how great you are, but you love it when I see it. You aren't too proud to keep reminding me of your goodness. You care too much to let me miss you being everything that you are. You can't stop being amazing. You can't stop being loving. How many times did I say I was yours, not realizing just how powerful and transformational being yours is? And you let me learn more of it every day. All right. This last one is called My Territory. This is my challenge to mothers, fathers, just everyone. Where we're at right now is leading us somewhere. And we don't have to wait until we get to heaven to have a life of abundance here. Amen. I'm not renting space. This time and place was given, my territory, my responsibility to develop and protect. I'm stretching my fingers and toes to the four corners. I will know the soil, capture the grit under my nails, cultivate the grounds, dig deep roots, dig wells. The generations after will dance among my olives and oaks, swing on thick branches, lace their shoes in swaying shade, and drink in the freckled sunlight. Their place and time made easier, because when fear would have made me move, I reached my hands up into the air, planted my feet deep into the ground, and made like a tree.